Hey there, hi there, ho there, everyone. I am Shut Up James, and happy Friday the 13th.
Shut up, James!
It has been 44 years since we got the original 1980 Friday the 13th film, and we have not gotten a new entry in 15 years. So I figured let's rank them. I don't think a new one's coming out anytime soon that will mess up my ranking, so we're gonna do this. I've got my Friday the 13th shirt on and it's very small. I think I bought this when I was 20 pounds lighter. Now, I've never sat down and tried to dissect the series before because I really enjoy most of these movies. For better or worse, I love the Friday the 13th franchise, but we'll see how this goes. We're gonna have fun. For more videos like this, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You can also find me on Instagram, Patreon, and TikTok. All of the socials, whatever the socials are, I'm there. Well, I guess there's no time like the present, so I'm gonna start with the movie I enjoy the least, what I would say is probably the worst in the franchise. Again, please don't come for me. I mean, you're gonna. You know what? Just come for me. Meet me in the comments. Let's fight. So number 12 is Friday the 13th. The remake. The one, well, it's not a remake, it's like a reboot, but a remake, I don't know. This. A gorgeous cast and big budget cinematography can't save this film for me. It feels like a combination of all the worst attributes of the franchise, with no real connection to the characters, very few truly memorable kills, and a prolonged opening sequence that outshines the rest of the film. Just 90 minutes of missed potential. Although Derek Mears does a great job as Jason Voorhees. Very intimidating, but everything else can go.
And he's a real...
Next, this movie. Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. Similarly to the remake, this one steals the wrong characteristics from the genre, giving us sex and nudity in spades, which is fine for some people, but no scares or good death scenes. And that's like what I come for. Like I come to this franchise for the deaths. Hell, almost every single death is off camera, and the body count seems to be transactional. Like, who was that random dude walking around in the woods? However, props to the actress who played Ethel for giving one of the funniest performances in the entire franchise, and to that outhouse scene for being the film's only great moment overall. I won't even get into the fact that it's not Jason because I don't hate that, I just hate how it all played out.
You know, you ain't so pretty yourself, you know.
Next on my list, Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. I already hear y'all, wait, James, why is this not in last place? Let me explain. This movie is not good, but it has a few really great moments, and at the end of the day, I consider it so bad it's good. It has easily one of the greatest opening sequences of the entire franchise, having every horror trope and cliche thrown at us, jump scares aplenty, ending in that explosive SWAT team ambush. However, after that, the movie makes many wrong decisions, from uninteresting character relationships and backstory to the ultimate sin of literally not actually having Jason. Also, the homoerotic shaving. Why did we have homoerotic shaving? So even though this movie is a bad movie, it keeps me more entertained than the remake or A New Beginning.
Good shooting, Mahoney. Now clean up all this shit, huh?
Okay, next on the list. Now again, I don't hate these movies, so don't freak out that it's, not lower, higher, whatever, but it's gonna be Friday the 13th, Part 3. 3D, if you will. Now, it took me decades to realize that this is a good movie. Shocking, I know. I used to find it kind of bland and confusing. Like, did Jason assault Chris? Did they really try to set Vera up with Shelly? And who the hell are Chuck and Chili? They're like 40 hanging out with these 20-year-olds. I'm also not a fan of the techno disco theme music. I know that it has a following, like people are obsessed. I really don't like it.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Overall, though, we do have a couple sweet character moments, especially the scene at the convenience store with Shelly and Vera, where Shelly becomes brave.
I did it! I did it! I did it! Did I do it?
Yes, you did it! You were great!
Solid deaths, great chase scenes, and if you can watch this in 3D, do it. It may be a gimmick, but it adds so much to the film. They spared no expense making sure every damn thing popped out of the screen. Next, Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. Look at this tape. This tape is beautiful. This is beautiful. Tell me I'm beautiful. Jason versus Carrie. I could spend a whole day talking about this film. From here on out, I love every one of these entries. So distinguishing which one I love more than the other is going to come down to the most minute of details. The New Blood is arguably when the franchise jumped the shark by introducing a telekinetic protagonist, but somehow it just works. Lar Park Lincoln delivers a great performance as Tina. It's Kane Hodder's first portrayal as Jason Voorhees. The movie is directed by special effects legend John Carr Buechler. Buechler. It looks like Buechler, but I think it's Buechler. And I'd physically fight someone who tried to say this is not the coolest looking Jason in the franchise, showcasing every wound that the iconic killer had endured up until that point. Did the MPAA remove several key moments, resulting in some lackluster death sequences? Absolutely. Does the ending with Daddy jumping out of the water make any sense? Not at all. But overall, the movie is a lot of fun and has an awesome fan-made sequel called Roseblood. I feel like I keep praying. Why am I praying? I feel like the New Blood was made by the fans for the fans, and Roseblood was made in that same vein, so go check it out.
There goes the neighborhood.
Okay, next, I think I'm gonna get some flack for this one, but next on my list is Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. This is the entry that people seem to both remember the most and forget the most. What they remember is it's a perfect balance of fun and scary. The kills are incredible, the characters are likable across the board. This feels like a real slasher sequel, with throwbacks to previous films and meta humor so thick you could choke on it. What people forget, this is where Jason becomes a zombie. He is literally brought back to life, Frankenstein style, in the opening scene of the movie. But general audiences always seem to ask the question, when did Jason become a zombie? Here, now, right here. Oh my gosh, when he bends the sheriff, whoever, in half, it's so great.
So, what were you gonna be when you grew up?
It's getting tough now. It's getting tough because the next one is so, I love it, but it's not in my top 5. Maybe it is some days, but right now it's not. I don't know, should it be? Anyway, either way, whatever. It's Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. Look at this, it's beautiful. Okay, hear me out. Is this movie particularly well made? No. Is the acting up to par? Definitely not. Does it really actually even take place in Manhattan? Not necessarily, but this one will always hold a very special place in my heart. Awesome tagline, awesome poster, awesome soundtrack. It never really sticks the landing, but this is another so bad it's good in my opinion. Just like Part 7, the MPAA cut out all the gore, leaving us with what feels like a PG-rated Friday the 13th film. Unlike previous entries, however, the budget was cut significantly after filming had started, which is why most of the movie actually takes place on a cruise ship and not the city that is misleadingly alluded to in the title. This is the entry that gave us the iconic Times Square moment, as well as one of my favorite kills of the franchise, albeit one of the most simple, and that's Kelly Hu in the disco. When did my light go out? I mean, Rennie was pretty stupid, but besides that. All right, here we are. We're getting down to the wire. The next movie in my list, in my ranking, is Jason X. First of all, look how damn sexy this poster is. I'm sure y'all are real confused right now, like, how is Jason X in my top 5?
Yeah, well, there's no accounting for taste.
Well, I'm going to have a biased opinion on this one because it's actually the first Friday the 13th film that I got to see in theaters. I used to play the trailer on repeat back in the day when you had to sit for 15 minutes, like, you know, log into AOL and then get to the website. Hopefully no one uses the phone, and then like wait for it to buffer for like a half hour just so you could watch the 2-minute and 24-second video. Totally worth it. This movie shouldn't work. And for most people, it doesn't. But this is the definition of a kill movie. You watch this movie for the kills. It's a bunch of dumb characters doing dumb things for 90 minutes, but it just feels like everyone was having a blast. Jason kills like 10 people in the first few minutes. The opening credits take place inside his brain. The protagonist is a badass that you can actually root for, and they take full advantage of this being set in the future. We have an artificial life form, holodeck, and nanobots which lead to Uber Jason in all of his glory. The acting is just okay, and Jason being brought back to life by the sound of teens getting it on is stupid, but this is one of the entries that I rewatch the most, just for how fun it is. And honestly, mostly that's what these films are. They are fun. They may not be particularly scary, but they are enjoyable. Mostly. I mean, you know.
Why don't you just stick your head out and have a peek?
Speaking of fun, how could I forget Freddy vs. Jason. Yes, I am including the crossover that we all needed and wanted so badly, Freddy vs. Jason from 2003. At this point, I'm mostly rating these movies on rewatchability, and for me, this movie never gets old. The dialogue is cringe, and the acting is subpar at best, but damn, does Ronnie Yu know how to make a good movie. The action is insane, the visuals are crazy, the scares are actually scary, and the fights between our two antagonists are top tier. Freddy is at his best, both hilarious and menacing.
Hey, asshole!
While recasting Jason was a mistake in my opinion, because he kind of walks around like a big doofus the whole time, he makes up for it by the end when they get to Camp Crystal Lake. It technically feels more like a Freddy movie than a Jason movie, but it's great. I love it. Gosh, the fighting is so bloody, just arms and squirting and just, oh, it's so good.
Oh. Tilt.
Is this getting any brighter? No, we're in the top 3. And this may be weird, but my pick here is actually the OG from 1980, Friday the 13th. A rip-off slasher film that had such an impact on the genre that it actually got ripped off by the sequel of the film that it originally was ripping off in the first place. Now, for this clearly trying to copy the success of Halloween, the two movies couldn't be more different. Sure, it's a collection of teens being stalked and pursued and killed by an unknown assailant, but there's a whodunit aspect in this movie that keeps you guessing until the very end, and the twist still shocks new viewers to this day. People expecting this to be a Jason movie are very surprised by the end. The kills are graphic and original, and it contains one of the most effective jump scares in horror history. Unfortunately, it loses points for a rather silly and lackluster fight sequence at the end of the movie that doesn't age well. But at the end of the day, it introduced us to Jason Voorhees and Camp Crystal Lake, and the horror genre has never been the same since.
We didn't find any boy.
Then he's still there.
Okay, next on the list, Friday the 13th Part 2. Here's a sequel that raises the stakes and the body count, with more playful characters, elaborate deaths, new lore surrounding Jason, a much more involved protagonist, and some of the most tense and suspenseful moments of the series. Jenny under the bed in that cabin is iconic. Sure, most of the characters are cookie-cutter stereotypes, and there are a couple plot holes, like what happened to that guy that went to the diner? He gets to just stay there and live. But I like this movie a lot, and I think the scares are still scary, and it ages better than some of the other sequels. Oh, here's a fun thing. Meet me in the comments. Who do you think did the campfire tale better? Friday the 13th Part 2 or The Burning?
And I'm gonna give it to you straight about Jason.
Now here it is, my top pick. Obviously, I think you would have guessed it by now. It's the only one we haven't talked about. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. I love this movie. The opening is very sequel-y, tying directly into the events of the previous film, building anticipation for when Jason is going to inevitably wake up. And in my opinion, when all the ambulances leave the camp and we are left in silence, it's one of the most haunting moments of any Friday the 13th film. You feel like you are genuinely alone at Camp Crystal Lake. And then we get everything and the kitchen sink. A dog, a kid, a family, twins, Crispin Glover dancing. The final chapter feels like a perfect combination of what we all love about the franchise. Fun characters, gory kills, genuine suspense, a brutal Jason Voorhees, and an ending that feels earned. The movie builds momentum effortlessly, leaving you exhausted by the time Tommy picks up that machete. And it may go without saying, but Corey Feldman absolutely delivers in this role as fan favorite Tommy Jarvis.
No, I'm serious about this. The computer don't lie.
And that's it. That is all she wrote. Now, you are allowed to have a different opinion about my ranking. I think I even have a different opinion now about my ranking. Anyway, thanks for sitting here with me and doing this. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this. You can also check out my playlists for more rankings, movie reactions, and modern trailers. Thank you to my YouTube members and my Patreon squad for being here and encouraging me to do stupid shit like this. I really appreciate you all. Now, I'm gonna go watch a Friday the 13th movie. Which one should I watch? Meet me in the comments. I have been Shut Up James. Thank you for watching. Happy Friday the 13th. Goodbye.